Hello, welcome back. Design elements and principles. Today, we get to talk about color. But before that, let's clear up some items first. And the people watching this will know. Hopefully, the people watching the recording will better understand. It's just some house cleaning. Let's get into it. Because I want to do this quick because I want to get in the color. Grading rubric, just so y'all see it. Late assignments is 12% reduction. No assignments will be accepted 7 days after the due date. This is in red at the bottom. What does that mean for you? Session 1 line closes on Thursday at midnight. It disappears. You are no longer allowed to turn anything in. It's gone for good. Finito. We move on. Then shape will disappear on that Tuesday, then form on Thursday, and color, and then it just goes through. So pay attention. If you have stuff to turn in from session 1, get it turned in before it goes away for good. That is your warning. I talked about that in the first class. I haven't always mentioned it, but there you go. There's my mention of it. Jump on in. Get your stuff done, and things just close. You've been told, I don't accept late work 7 days after the period. That's long enough. I moved on. I don't care. You're like, well, I was going to do it eventually. Well, somebody else can have your job, and when you feel like getting a job eventually, then you do your stuff. But let's kind of like we're in college. That's how it works. Let's rock some other questions, some other things that are going on. Let's talk about this. Graphic design, quick challenge, quizzes. Nobody should be getting anything but an A in this because you can literally copy and paste the question into Google, into ChatGPT, into whatever you want and get the answer and answer it correctly. I am telling you to do that. I see people are getting B's and C's. I'm like, why didn't you just copy and paste? It took 5 minutes of your life to get an A? That's crazy if you can't do that. But I digress. It's up to you. You get as far in life as you want. I am giving you a freebie. This is like saying like there's free food somewhere and you're like, I don't need it. What? It's free. It's like money. So make sure you just copy and paste. There's no time limit. There's no cheat limit. Like just look it up. Oh, I don't know what that means. Copy, paste, be done. Just like this. Oh, hey, continue. Oh, what is negative space? Empty or unused space around elements, unprintable areas. Oh no, I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. What is negative space? Negative space is the empty space around or between objects of an image. What? Oh, empty space or unused space around elements. Done. I got 20 points for that. I copied and pasted it. Just do that. All right. Textbook assignments. Do you know, everybody, you don't need the textbook. I have the textbook in there. If you view the instructions and you click on the PDF, that is the textbook. So if at one point in your life you were like, where do I get the textbook? It's in the assignment, which means you didn't even open the assignment to find out more. So it's in there. People who aren't doing the textbook assignment, I don't know why, it is there. It is there for you to take, so make sure you are doing the textbook assignment because you do not need the textbook. It is included in the assignment. I know I'm that good. Here's the other one, design practices. I mentioned this earlier on, and I go through this, and I'm actually going to do this one right now with us again. We switch between programs each time. So we go, we do Illustrator, one session, InDesign the next. Illustrator, one session, InDesign the next. I thought I made that clear. I don't think everybody was clear on that, but that's what we do. And so I added a little prompt in there. Design practice overview InDesign. Now, the other thing we're doing is each one gets a little more complicated as we get going. What does that mean? I stop including everything and you have to go find it. It is something that you need to learn how to practice in these programs, is you're always placing stuff. I need something from here, I got to put it into here. This is what we're doing in this course. And then for these practices, the first two, the first Illustrator one, everything was there. The first InDesign, everything was there. And then we move on. Then the second Illustrator, all the examples were missing. What do you think is going to be missing from this one? Design practice 4. If the examples were missing from the InDesign file, I bet you they're going to be missing in this one. But they're not missing. They're there. You just have to relink them. So what I am going to do is download this file. The pronunciation is Sipi Pinellis. I'm going to open up my folder. We all know how to do this. If you have a PC, you right-click Extract All. If you have a Macintosh, you double-click on that. It opens it up into this. There is a links file and an InDesign file. INDD. That is InDesign. It will not open in Illustrator. Illustrator will not open in InDesign. So double-check those items to help you out. Now all you have to do is double click on it and it should open directly into InDesign. If it doesn't, open InDesign and go to File, Open and find the file. So then we're just placing stuff. Now, if I zoom out, stuff is missing. Don't forget to place the background, people. A bunch of people are forgetting to place the color background. You got to put that in. So let's just go through. I'm going to do this one at a time. Title. Just grab it, line that title up, use my arrow key to get it centered perfectly. Let's do the photo one at a time. I'm going to pull that photo over and I'm going to sync that in there. All right. Then body copy. Body copy's over here. Let's get it in there. One layer at a time, right? One layer at a time. We're just moving over. Examples. The examples, 1, 2, and 3, are not here. Let's get them. This is the part of the learning process. This is the next step. How do I import images into the file? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to go to File and Place. I know it seems weird, but what are we doing? We are placing a file into the document. I'm placing it. I'm going to look on my computer because that's where we downloaded our item to. I'm going to go to Downloads. I'm going to go to Sipi Pinellis. I'm going to go to Links and Example 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to teach you something here, and it's beyond what you think. So everybody pay attention. So when it comes up, you'll know, how do I do that? I'm going to teach you how. So I'm going to go to Open. Now in the past, just like with Illustrator, you can see my thing has a image, I can't point to it, and a number 3. That means I am holding on to 3 images. And if I click once, twice, and the third time. Now, this is the most important part that you need to listen to. You will screw this up if you do not listen to this. We need to resize these images. And to resize the image, I want you to use this tool right here, and it is called the Free Transform tool. What tool do you use? Scream at your computers. The Free Transform tool. The Free Transform tool allows much greater freedom in sizing documents. Now, the other thing we're going to do, as we always do, is hold down Shift. So I'm just going to click on that. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller and move it to the side. Now I'm going to go back to the Select tool. I'm going to click on this image. I'm going to go to the Free Transform tool. I'm going to go to the corner and hold shift and scale. Now, what I can do now is take this and put it here. Go back to the select tool. Grab this one, move it here. Now, to help with my aiding eyes, I'm going to zoom in. We always zoom in. And then I'm going to hit that space bar because it allows me to move things around. Then I'm going to click on this image, go to the free transform tool, and I'm going to scale this up or scale it down. And I'm going to get it so it's perfect. All right. All right. Then I'm going to go to the select tool. I'm going to click on this other image. I'm going to go back to the free transform tool, and then I'm going to scale and get that to the side. Excuse me. Can you not eat the nuts right now? Just wait till I'm done. Thank you. All right, sorry guys. And then, so I'm going to, zoom in, and I'm going to double check, and we want them touching in the middle, and I want that pulled over there. So this is a great part that we can do, is I'm going to make sure that these are lined up. I'm going to go back to my free transform tool. I'm going to scale it up just a bit. I'm watching for these cyan lines to me. And then you can grab with the select tool both images. This is where it gets crazy. And then I'm going to scale it so it's touching the purple margin. So go back to the free transform tool and then go right to there. All right. And then I'm double checking, and I'm going to make sure they're perfectly lined up. Now, as I'm zoomed in, let's just double check my work. I think it's looking pretty good. Body copy looks good. Maybe I can just take that direct select tool and tap it a couple times. Get it, it's just going to be close. And then everything is in there. Oh, wait, forgot this one. Ooh, examples. Got away from me. So again, I'm just going to line up this corner. I'm looking right here, right? Get that corner of the image in. Then I'm going to take the free transform tool, and I'm going to grab the corner, hold down shift, and get it to the size that I need it. The free transform tool is the money maker on this one, all right? Free transform tool. How did you resize it? Let's say it, free transform tool. That's how we do it. And then I'm going to take the background. Some people have been forgetting to put the background in. We need that background in. It covers up all that other crap. And there we go. So that is it in InDesign. And I'm going to file, you do your save as, and then file, export. I want to do a PDF print. I'm going to hit save, smallest file size, none. I'm going to double check these, marks and bleeds, nothing is indicated. And I'm going to export. There it is, beautifully crafted article about C.P. Pinelli's, editorial designer, world famous. There you go. Again, check which program we're using in order to do it correctly. And then I go through these. And if you're ever questioning it, a lot of times I write back, did you watch the video? And I go on these in reverse, purposefully, kind of easiest to hardest. So that's how I do it. I think it works good. And eventually I'm going to stop. Well, we move out of doing these. I will do all the rest of these. But I'm not going to do the color presentation today because you have 3 very clear examples of me doing it and student examples of that. So I don't need to do the color research, but I will go over it with you again and just go through the instructions. But you don't need to see me do it again. You can go back, watch one of those wonderful YouTube videos in which I go into it in depth and find stuff. Let's define some color. This is why, this is gonna take us a while. I want to get moving on this. This is awesome. I love it. This is my favorite part. Defining color. We're back in the day. Welcome to kindergarten. This is a color wheel. I could go on about it. There is controversy about said color wheel that we see, but it is, for the most part, what we use in design and in the world to define colors. You can nerd out on this, and if you wanted to get into the ins and outs of how we actually see spectrum colors, how they are actually purposefully aligned, that's a whole different, it's a 3D landscape of radio waves is what it comes down to. But for the sake of this, we take it as a simple color wheel into which you start with one color and it goes around, and I will describe this more with the primaries and complementary colors. Yellow, blue, and red are what we call primary colors. Why is it primary? A primary color cannot be created by mixing any colors. It is pigment in its purest form. And I am talking to clear things up. If there's a design nerd out there who's like, what about RGB? We're not going to worry about RGB. RGB is a different set of color parameters, and it deals with light, and we are dealing with pigment. If you are working in web only or in television, you would learn this whole range of things, but in RGB. We are doing print. 90% of graphic design is print-based, and so we talk about yellow, blue, and red as our primaries. And so there, I hope I cleared it up for that one person who was like, oh, I can't wait to talk about the RGB. Different set of rules. We're not going to talk about those. All right, primary. So what it means, like primary color, yellow, blue, and red are that. You can't mix two colors to create blue. Blue is just blue. You can't mix two colors to create yellow. And you can't mix two colors to make red. That is why they are primary, number ones. But where it goes into the complementaries is blue and yellow make green. Yellow and red make orange. We all know this, right? Red and purple make blue. These are complementary colors. And what they complement is the color across the wheel. Yellow's complementary color is purple. Complementary, the other way to think about it is opposite. The opposite color of blue is orange. The opposite color of green is red. The opposite color of yellow is purple. The opposite color of white is black. You can go down this line, and each one of these has it. If I were to be like, the opposite of green, yellow is purple, red. The opposite of blue, green is orange, red. You just go down the line. So a complementary color is the opposite. It is the combination of a color, and it's a complement to a primary. Good fun. Then we start talking about triads, and we start talking about color systems. So when you start designing more in color, you're going to be designing color systems. You're going to be like reducing. Like, we don't just open a design file and like, I'm going to use every color in the rainbow. You have clients with special needs, with special colors. Oh, like I used to work for Intel Blue. You had to use only Intel Blue, Intel Orange, nothing else, and black. Like whatever I designed, I had to use only those colors. So we get into color schemes and color ideas. First one is triads. And these in general kind of all work together in a style that it just kind of through the ages, through the decades and hundreds of years of color study, people have been like, you know, yellow, blue, and red kind of work together. It's a triad. And then if we spin that triangle and we go to these three would make a really nice palette together. And then oddly, when we go to orange, purple, and green, we go to Halloween. Oh, wait, it's a triad, but it's the Halloween triad. Do you ever think about that? Wow. Orange, green, and purple are like Halloween colors, and they work together so well because they're a triad. Fun stuff. And then we go, you know, here. These three colors would tend to work good together. The triads just help us go along, and say we wanted three completely different colors. A good place to start picking is with triads. When you look at the color wheel, you shift your little color, you know, in your mind and be like, these are the ones I want to use. Let's do a design only using those. And that's a triad. Analogous, really weird word, right? Analogous. Analogous simply means 4 or 5 neighboring colors in a group. So if I was going to do a design and I wanted analogous design, I would simply take this group of colors and say, I'm only going to be using yellow, yellow, orange, orange, and orange red in my design. And it's an analogous color system. This can rotate in any way you want. It's just one gets added, one gets removed. So green, green, yellow, yellow, and yellow, orange are an analogous system. And you just rock around it. It is a hard word. It's a weird word, but it's just take it as 4 neighbors. It's the easiest way to think about it. Analogous, 4 of them, 4 neighbors, 4 neighboring colors, no skips, no nothing, just 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are analogous. That's it. Kind of plain and simple. Analogous is 4, 5 colors all together next to each other. They're neighbors. We have warm colors and we have cool colors. It's a way to talk about color, which brings it down to an emotional level in our minds. So when we think warm, we tend to think of something that is warm. Going back to our caveman times, flames are warm, which are generally yellow to orange to reddish. All right, I hear you. What about special gases that burn blue? And what? Those weren't around when we started talking about that. So, but thank you for bringing that up. I understand that sometimes blue is the color of a flame. I gotcha. But we determined it as warm. Warm is this half of the color spectrum, and cool is this half. Think emotionally about the colors and why we say warm and cool, and that's all you really need to know. Think of ice, water, a lake. I'll just say it like a lake. And you're like, oh, it's probably cooler. It's blue. Even though it's really not blue. But we get that impression. Cool green grass on a hot summer day, lay down in that dewy green grass. It's nice and cool as the orange sun beats on you with all that heat. You know, just think emotionally about the color, and then that's the way to understand the difference between cool and warm. Monochromatic colors. All right, the next 3 all deal with kind of this system of color. Monochromatic is the color pigment starting at 100%. Here it starts at 100. And then here I took out 20%. So this is 80% of a solid color. This is 60, 40, and 20. So it goes down. Nothing is being added. It is if somebody spread out a powder and then took the powder away, and they took 20%, 80% of the powder and only left 20%, you would have this tint. I can't say tint. You'd have that monochromatic system set up. So that's monochromatic. I am removing pigment to leaving nothing. That's why they're transparent. There's nothing going in the middle of that. I'm not adding. If I have a tint, now I am adding. As I remove pigment, I put white in that pigment. So if I have 100% pigment here, for this color, I have 80% pigment and 20% white. 60, 40. 40, 60, you know, so it goes down, but I'm adding white. And then as you can see, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter, but there's no transparency. A tint. Tint is adding white to a pigment in order to lighten its value without changing the color base. Tone. Tone is the same thing, but using gray as the replacer. 50% gray. So 50 gray is generally termed as a 50. We can have gray from 100 to 0, 99 to 1. Let's make it very accurate for those people who are going to call me out. 99 to 1 can be gray tone. For the demonstration purposes here, I've used approximately a 50% gray, and we're doing the same thing. If that's 80% pigment, then I am filling with this 50% gray the other 20%, and that creates a tone. I can't really say I use tones all that much. I don't think anybody really does. It just gets muddy, a little bit dirty. Personal preference, personal design preference, but it is the same theory, but just adding gray. And then the final one is black. I don't have the final black in here, but just like shade is black, 100% black. So we're just doing the same thing. So the next one, the reason I didn't add them, like this one would just be pure black. So it is adding. Again, this is 100% green. I know this is green, but this is, I can draw on this one, so don't call me up. And that's 100% green. But then if we go here, it's 80 G 20 K. K stands for black. K, black. That's why it's a K, ends in a K. Because otherwise people would confuse it with blue. B. And that's how that works. And that's a shade. Any quick questions about the color wheel? All right, let's go talk about color and design. Let's do our zoom in. Some of this will be repeat, so I'm going to go quicker. Yeah, just because we don't I'm not going to repeat everything. All right, yeah, so that's the first one. Color. Color refers to visual perception resulting from the way an object interacts with light in the human eye. It's characterized by three main properties: hue, value, and saturation, or hue, value, and tone. Some of these can get intermixed. So hue is the specific name of a color, though nobody uses hue. There are nerds out there who are using hue. We don't use it. Value is a generalization of the term of the lightness or darkness of the color. And then saturation is like intensity or purity. you tend to just kind of pick up on these over time, and they're somewhat interchangeable. You will understand what people are talking about when it comes up, and if you don't, you just question it. Just like, what do we mean by hue? Are we talking about how intent? You correct them, because a lot of times as a designer, and you're working with people who aren't as smart as you when it comes to the graphic design, you may have to describe some of this or help them through it. When we say the human eye, that is simply because every creature with an eye has a different color system. I forget what dogs is. 2? They have like 2 cones. We have 3. There's something called the mantis shrimp that has 20 some. So the mantis shrimp can see way beyond what we can see. And that's why we mention it as a human eye. And there are some color blind issues among men and women. No big deal. We get through it. You can be colorblind designer. You can totally be a colorblind designer. The color wheel, we just talked about it. Organize colors based on the relationship of the primary colors. Position equidistance, secondary and tertiary colors. Come across, we did that. We did monochromatic. We know analogous. We know complementary. We know triad. So I went over all of these earlier. If you're jumping in late, just go back to the beginning of the lecture. All right. Emphasis and focal point. We can create attention. How do you get attention? What's 1 or 2 of the most attention-grabbing colors you can think of? Red. Stop signs are red. Red. Like, oh. Or I'm driving down the street. There's a lot of construction guys out. Oh, I can see them because they are wearing day glow yellow. It's a color that we see a lot of. So we can use these special colors to create emphasis and focal point in a design. We can base it on backgrounds as well. So just because I said red and yellow doesn't mean those are the 2. I could have blue be the focal point if everything else was orange. Whoa, I'm working with those complementaries, eh? Harmony and unity. Well-chosen color schemes contribute to a sense of harmony and unity. That's 100%, 1000% true. You can have a great design in a horrible color scheme. Somebody could come in and keep your exact design but change colors and make it 100% better. Knowing color does really affect design a lot. Mood and emotion. Colors do affect your mood and emotion. Everything that is designed, every ad that's out there is done for a reason and a specific thoughts and processes behind it to evoke some sort of emotion from you. Here's why. If you can evoke an emotion from a viewer of your graphic design piece, you have stayed in their memory. Emotion equals memory. If they have an emotional response because of the colors you picked, they are going to remember what you designed, and therefore, hopefully, upon purchasing an item based on your ad, will go for what you chose because they're like, oh yeah, I really like that. I should try that product. And it's all based on what you picked for a color. This is a crazy one and becoming more and more important. I personally did not have to deal. I did a little bit. But different cultures attribute specific meanings for colors. For instance, red may symbolize luck and prosperity in some cultures and dangers in others. So you have to, depending on your client, who you're working for, think about the culture in which you are placing your ad to make sure that you use correct colors. I worked at a hospital as a designer for a while. There are some colors we didn't use. One of them was like yellow. It was like a weird like yellow orange, and like that represents cancer. So we don't use that. I was like, okay, great. Just it won't show up anymore. You know, like I didn't know that. Like, and then like red, the luck and prosperity is some Asian cultures. But here for America, it's danger. Like all our signs about watch out for stuff is red, you know, done in red and white. So it does make a difference then. Colors are used in branding, advertising. You will come across this starting soon. You will get logos. Insert said logo, but you are never to change the color of the logo unless that you are told you can change it. McDonald's is red and gold. You will never ever see McDonald's represented in blue and green. It is a brand color, red and gold, McDonald's. Think of your brands. They have a specific color, and that color is even down to like a trademark. They have trademarked, McDonald's is trademarked, they're red and they're gold and they're used together. Nobody else can do that unless they want to get sued. Yeah, that's how important color is. Balance and color distribution, considering contrast, you know, achieving balance and color. It's just start to pay attention to color. It's just not everything goes. Oh, it's a free for all. It is not a free for all. You have to kind of work into it. If I use this color, can I use that color? Do these colors work well together? There are websites out there that can help you with those. One is Adobe Color. Like just do a Google search for Adobe Color and you'll get this weird color wheel in which you can start to drag and pull and move and it'll give you sliders. It's amazing. Let's see. It's fun. And then I'll go over our examples. I'll just show you this. I am typing in Adobe Color into my search bar. And I typed in Stadobi Baba. There you go. And you just start like moving things around and you can change stuff and then like, oh, this is analogous, 5 colors all together. Let's do triad. Spin that around, finding some triadic colors, you know, was it a square? With, you know, and it gives you all these like color choices down there. You can explore other people's palettes. Color groupings. It's a fun one. Adobe Color. Yeep. All right. Let's look at our emphasis and focal point right here. All black and white, except for Empire of the Sun. It's a beautiful red to yellow sun, beautiful gradient. And then, not many people notice, there's a reverse gradient on the flames of the airplane coming down. It goes from white to red. This basically goes from white to red this way. Oh, no, it's not a revert. It is the same, excuse me. But they match. And it's a beautiful piece. Speaking, you know, of what the war was. And the Asian cultures, this is to represent the ink, and this is the land of the rising sun. So well done. And so impactful when you just bring in just that analogous system, yellow, orange to red, and everything else is black and white. Super cool. Here's a fun one. This Nike one is fun. Nike. A lot of different colors are used, but used in such a way that you read through it. The base of it is orange. And then there's some green highlights. Nike Marathon is in one color. Then 1, 2, 3 is a different color. There's a lot of colors in this, but they're managed in the idea of they want you to read it in a certain way. The shoe bottom is orange and green. I don't need to know anything else. I read the Nike 1, 2, 3 marathoner. A little throw in kick down here, 1, 2, 3. It's in yellow. It blends in a little bit because it's not as important. Nike is in the biggest, lightest color, so it sticks out. Purposefully thought about. Why is each color in its spot, and how does that make the viewer read certain things? Actually, I'm very surprised that the Nike swoosh is in purple because it hides it a little bit. And this is, it is 6 different colors. It's like 2 triads. Cyan, magenta, and purple, and then orange, green, and yellow, whatever you want to take it as. So very fun. Saving animals. Here's a wonderful blend of cool and warm mixing together in unusual fashions. We have cool blending into warm, blending back into cool. We have warm blending into purples, which create a warm purple. You can have, this is the blending point of color too. It's like you can have warm purples and cool purples. You can actually have a warm green and a cool green. It depends on how far you want to go down that ladder. And a lot of people love going down that. I do. I have books on color. Like the only books I now keep on graphic design is I have in paper form are like 6 books dedicated to color pigments and stuff like that. I love it. Love playing with color. Love it, love it, love it. Here's just a cool, beautiful color system. Very close. This, like, look at this. This just came to my mind. This color system of this like oily, you know, I think of oil when you see oil on a puddle in the rain. Hopefully we see that less and less these days as cars get less drippy. But like this is that color. But then it's almost the same color palette used here. Here it's all separated out. Here it's blended together in a beautiful swishy swashy. And then I bring this one in, as you can see with all of them, and a student brought this up, and actually maybe we'll talk more about this next Thursday. Look at this beautiful piece for Woodstock, and notice, as I've talked, I think in every class, there's not a single black outline used in this design, and it is not needed anywhere in this design. So when I talk about turn off the stroke's not needed. Color does not fall out because there's no black line holding it in. Black lines, in fact, become a distraction. They are not needed. Again, look around your world, look around your life, not cartoons and not your graphic novels, but all the other stuff. You will start to notice like, yeah, black lines are never outlining color ever, really. It's just not done. And that's why we stop it now. Stopping you from the very beginning from this class. Just don't even get in that habit. Just turn it off. And like I said, I think I mentioned one of the programs, like, I wish it came, you know, like I wish it was default with no stroke, but I think people would just draw a white box and be like, I don't know what's going on. I drew a white box. I can't see it. And you're like, okay. All right, whatever. So there we go. Any questions? All right, let's move on. Get this done. Maybe 1 hour. We'll be done in an hour. All right, then next up, the assignment. I gotta get it open. Research. You know what to do. We are 3 images for color, a book cover, a movie poster, album cover, any era. This one's kind of like all over the place. You can do whatever you want as long as it's color. I'll put this prediction out there. I bet you I get one person who shows me a black and white image for color. And I'll be like, what made you think black and white? Of all the things we've been doing, you chuck black and white? So 3 beautiful examples. Beautifully spaced, beautifully laid out, beautifully cropped. These are presentations of your work, of your research, it should look immaculate. And I've shown you 3 times so far. You can go back and watch those videos of how the computer does it for you, and that you line it up and then left, right. And I've been commenting first rounds, right? First round has come up. I let you know what is right, what is wrong, where to fix it. Learn from that. I comment on every assignment. Yeah, like every assignment that can have improvements, I comment on. And sometimes I just write great. The best thing to get from me is like an excellent or a perfecto or something like that. Just know you did it, done, move on. If you start getting a lot of comments, then you're like, okay, I got stuff to improve. I got to pay attention. I got to make it right. The color project. 6 different color profiles are needed. This is an Illustrator file, hence the AI. All of these projects are going to be Illustrator projects. But again, just double check. You're always going to be opening different file types. This is the beginning of your life as a graphic designer. You are working with 3 file types right now, which will expand out into dozens. So start to recognize those things. We have 3 programs: InDesign, INDD, Illustrator, AI, Photoshop.PSD. Within those, there's PDFs, JPEGs, PNGs, TIFF. I could go on and on and on and on. Just know, like, okay, I got to start to recognize this suffix and what that represents in my design, because clients will be calling out and saying, I specifically need this file type. And if you get it wrong, you got to do it again. All right, let's open up this file. Open. Dun, dun, dun. This is what I want you to do. This one's already laid out for you. Your artwork goes here. You need to come up with 1 complementary composition, 1 triadic composition, 1 analogous composition, 1 cool colors only composition, 1 warm colors only composition, and 1 monochromatic composition only. I'm going to teach you something right now to make this job easier. Pay attention. This is a couple steps. We can do it. I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to start on your artwork here. I'm going to go off to the side here. And you can do this with any color, all right? Any color. But you have to start somewhere. Right now I clicked on this box. And the first thing I want to say is I don't want to see any black or any white in any of these. This is all about color. No black, no white, except for what I have put in there. Now I'm going to go to fill. And you can mix a color. Or you can use a swatch. So say I want a greenish color. And I'm like, and I go, this is called swatches. This is called a color palette. And I can move these sliders around and say, like, I want a limey green. I don't want any black in there. I want yellow, and I want that limey green. All right? This is my color palette. I mixed my color. So you mix your color. You get it where you want. Then you're going to click there. All right? You're going to click on this box next to it. This color stays here. Then you are simply going to click this plus. You are now creating a new swatch color. there, and I'll repeat this process with the, I am going to call my color lime green. All right, I just typed that in. Below that, I am going to click spot color. This is where it comes into play. Spot color. And then I'm going to just hit OK. Now what happened is, now my little swatch has a little tiny dot, a spot, which means if I click that color and I go back to this, I only get tints of that color. This color is only allowable in the tints, which is what you'll need for monochromatic. And it's what I used here. So I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to click just on the appearance. I'm going to go to just a starting point. I just want a starting point. So I'm going to pick this blue. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to mix my purple. I want like a reddish, weird, dark, maroony purple. Let's just go with that. All right. I have my color. I'm going to click on color swatches. I'm going to click the plus. I'm going to rename it Maroon 5. I am going to go color type, spot color, and click OK. It is now shown up here as a spot color, which means that when I draw a box and I hold down Shift and I remove the black stroke, yeah, I did, that stupid thing happens on my computer. I can go to that spot color, and then if I'm like, I want it to be 50%, I just move this slider, and it is an exact tint of the color that I wanted. Now, why would you do that? Well, one, the monochromatic part. So I check this, like I'm gonna go into your files and make sure that people did the spot color. But if you look at what my design here, all of these, and you know how it looks like a gradient? Like it looks like he put a fade in. There is no fade. These are simply tints of the same color with no gradation. They're just boxes placed on top of each other that when it was completed gave the illusion that there was a gradient. How cool is that? 10 boxes, and then it gets that cool effect there. We're tricking the eye, folks. We're tricking the eye. Pretty cool. Duo, really cool. Complementary. Opposites. Triad. Triangles, triad. That's simply why I did that. But these are, I looked at the triadic. Blue, orange, or it is like bluish. I was a little bit off, a little bit of that purple, green, and orange. These are triads. And then I did some tinting of it. Go for it. The analogous design, 4 colors that are all next to each other on the color wheel. This is where you get to start to have some fun. Cool. All cold colors. Blues and greens. A little bit of purple. Blues and greens and purples. Warm colors. Yellow, orange, red. Yellow, orange, red. And then, like I said, the monochromatic. One single color with tints and tones only. Tints. And I showed you how to do that. I showed you how to create your beautiful tint. Right there shows up with a dot spot color, and it's tinted throughout. You can move this slider to get exactly what you want. Any questions about creating your 6 compositions? All right. Well, you guys know how to get a hold of me. You guys know how to contact me, whether it's through Blackboard or the discussion board. You can email me, whatever it is. Ask me questions. I'm more than happy to help out and work with you and answer all your questions. This is so exciting what we're doing. Beautiful work. Go through this. You know what to do. As a reminder, as we come up, week 1 is ending on Thursday at midnight. Everything must be turned in. If it's not turned in, it will not be accepted anymore. And it just will step through. You will only be seeing 4 or 5 units open at a time, sessions, excuse me. Get your work in. Plenty of time. I grade honestly. If you ever question my grades, ask me. Why did I do that? There are some people that I talk to. Just redo it. Show me again. Correct it. Let's get it back into shape. Don't be shy. Advocate. If you think I did something wrong, let me know. Hey, I don't think prove me wrong. That's what we got to do. You know, I'm going to be like, well, describe it to me. Why do you think yours is correct? So, yeah, I'm open-ended like that. Grading is going good. Just so you know, I try to grade every day. There's the assignments that don't have peer reviews. Don't forget your peer reviews. That's a whole grade. Whew. Look at 2 other people's works on the certain assignments. Do those peer reviews. How come I got a B? You didn't do the peer review. You did an excellent job, but you didn't look at anybody else's work. It's kind of one-sided, eh? We look at other people's work to learn more. Oh my God, look what they did. It's amazing. Good thing you looked at that. So, yeah, that's it. Texture, Thursday. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.